In Destiny, everything in your build is important. Your stats, weapons, subclass, and especially how they work with the modifiers on any given activity. But every Destiny player knows the feeling of having on the wrong loadout. This can be anything from having a PvP loadout during Salvation's Edge, or having the wrong super on because you were changing a build around and forgot to re-equip it. Especially with the customized loadout slots in the game, players are constantly clicking the wrong loadouts, especially when hot swapping, and it makes it so much easier to be a victim of this. The good news is, a lot of the time it doesn't affect the raid or dungeon too much, as we are very over leveled. However, recently with the new Desert Perpetual raid race, a few people did not clear bosses due to doing the wrong swaps. Welcome to what I hope is a relatable video for Destiny players. Today we are going to be looking over things every Destiny player has done. If you do enjoy, please be sure to subscribe. It's the best way to support me and I'd really appreciate it. Now back to the video. Up next is when you accidentally queue up for the wrong activity. With the UI being the way it was and the portal the way it is now, it makes it pretty easy just to have a slight misclick without players even realizing until you're on that destination. This can be anything from picking the wrong PvP playlist to going into the wrong dungeon or raid. I'm not really sure how it happens. Even if you're somewhat conscious, you will notice what you are loading into, but my guess is in Destiny we just go on autopilot and we make a slight mistake. Pros and cons of this. Pros, it's funny and makes for some great conversations with the lads. Cons, LFGs will leave, bitch at you, and net limit. I really don't like LFGs. Moving on though. So this is a rather painful one, and if anyone says they haven't done this, I hate you and I'm jealous of you. When you get a duplicate weapon or armor piece, what do you do with it? That's right, you dismantle it. So it is very common for Destiny players to dismantle the wrong item. Again, if you say you've never done this, I just don't believe you. I truly hate this very much. It's so painful once you realize what you've done. I once deleted my God Roll Edge Transit back when that was meta because I had 2 in my inventory. I thought I was deleting the bad one, and then I was left with a Field Prep Frenzy Edge Transit. That was probably my most recent episode. The first one was in Destiny 1 when I deleted my Fatebringer instead of my Atheon's Epilogue. I don't know how I did it, please don't ask. Point is, it sucks and I'm sure we've all felt a pain like this. So this might be the most relatable one on the list, but this is for all my casual players out there. We've all gotten in the mood to play Destiny. We'd all load in, hover over a few planets, maybe click around, visit the tower, just to go back to orbit and sit for another 5 minutes and then log off. This is especially prominent when we are in a content drought towards the end of a year. We want to play but realize there is actually nothing to do. It's a common thing in many games like this and Warframe, and I'm curious. If you've ever done this, leave the comment because I'm genuinely curious, and also comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. When we are bored though, we start to play the true endgame of Destiny, Drestiny. Fashion is the common sit in orbit for 10 minutes game. We sit there, play with a bunch of different shaders and weapon mods for absolutely no reason, other than to look good of course. We simply think we are throwing it on, send it over to our friends on Discord only for them to reply with a 5 out of 10. This is the hallmark of a good friend though. Anyways, already 2 of these pertain to being bored with the game's content. What this means is Bungie is not doing too good, so Bungie either sponsor or hire me, thank you. Anyway, the vaults. We have 700 item spaces in our vaults, and if you guys want to see a full video on things Destiny players remember, click this video up here. I go more into depth about vault space, but many of us have done some kind of vault cleaning. This frees up our space, lets us make new builds, theorize some new builds, and store away some weapons that might become meta later on. We've all touched our vaults at some point in some way, but we've also all gone there just to stare at it as well. You go up to the vault, you open it up, scroll through the pages, and then call it a day. Along with this, we've all accidentally tried putting a weapon in our vault from orbit, only to forget to reset the inventory, so next time you try to click a weapon, it just goes into your vault. And then you have to dig through your vault, scroll the pages, just to pull out the weapon you just put into the vault. Real quick before we go on, I want to thank SoundPEATS for sponsoring this video. They were generous enough to send me over their newest Air 5 Pro model, and I've been loving them. They're comparable to AirPods with 37-hour battery life, a comfortable design, and my favorite part, the noise reduction. Whenever I'm listening to any audio, I love to get immersed inside the audio, but I still want to be able to hear things and be aware of my surroundings, and SoundPEATS is perfect for that. They are for ambient noise reduction as well as noise cancellation for whatever your needs are. It's also water resistant and splash resistant, meaning sweat and gentle splashes will not affect them. Obviously, don't drown them though. Like I said, it's AirPods but cheaper and they look even cooler. SoundPEATS will be linked in the description below. Thank you again to them for sponsoring, and back to the video. Characters in Destiny. Now I could make this into like 6 different spots, but instead I'm just gonna to go over the two main ones of making two of the same class to maximize getting power levels and deleting a character for no reason, just to make another one. We've all done this at some point, and there's actually a website called Time Wasted on Destiny. I'll leave it linked in the description, but basically this website shows you how much time you spent on even your deleted characters. I remember doing this so much in Destiny 1 when the campaigns were bearable, and now we do it for extra raids or to make the best class out right now. When the raid race power requirement is announced, players immediately lock in on a duplicate class to grind power as much as possible. This isn't really a thing anymore due to the way power works, but back in the day, a bunch of people would do this, going so far to make 3 of the same class to try to get a chance at World's First. It was kind of inspiring actually, but I also don't know how people like Sweatsickle weren't burnt out. Speaking of burning out, grinding for that god roll is peak burnout, especially when it takes 20 hours. I'm still after a midnight coup, and after about 20 onslaughts, I'm done with it, man. This was more fun in Destiny 1, grinding for things like strike-specific loot by doing whatever the current nightfall was, most notably the Grasp of Malik from Omnigul. This was peak pinnacle grinds. We were just straight up grinding this. This weapon was so good, Bungie had us in a chokehold. But the point is, we've all grinded for something and we've all felt the burnout of it. This is a looter-shooter, and hence you need to loot in order to shoot things. And what do you do when you don't get the role you want? That's right, you exploit. I'm kidding, I don't condone TOS exploiting, by the way. But I mean things like farming and loot caves. We all know the loot cave I'm talking about as well. This was considered an exploit, and we've all done something like this to try to get that perfect roll. Along with this, in PvP, I'm sure we've abused broken things too. It's okay, you guys don't have to lie about it. Whether it was a warlock aspect, hunters going invisible, shatter dive, anything like that, we've all done something bad in Crucible. And lastly, we have complaining about the game. We've all complained about Destiny for one reason or another, but let's start with PvP. PvP has had disgusting metas, maps, and connection-based / skill-based matchmaking. Players are never able to get on the same page with these changes, so we always find a way to complain. PvE, we have a super broken meta like Titans with Storm's Keep, or most recently, we begged for raids to be harder after what we got in Lightfall with the Root of Nightmares, and then we got that with Desert Perpetual, and players still complained about a day 1 raid race. It was on contest mode. Of course it's meant to be hard. I understand the DPS was a little lackluster, but other than DPS being a lot, it really wasn't that bad, guys. We can't ever be happy, I guess. Map changes also occurred. Trials recently had a change where they made it 3 maps in 1 week, and this was because Bungie made the map a bad one and a lot of people complained. So now we're back in the cycle. When we complain, there isn't much that really helps. It really just widens the gap from the connection between the community and the devs. I know, Bungie doesn't listen, Bungie doesn't care, but still, we should at least try to accept things. It's sad how they handle it, but at the end of the day, it's how it is. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Thank you to all of our community members you are seeing here on screen. If you want to become a member and get early videos, members only access, and cool emotes, you can join through the link below for only $1. Again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you did enjoy. Thank you so much for watching and all the support you guys show, and I'll see you in the next one.